In 1908, a mysterious explosion in Siberia flattened 80 million trees, but left no crater behind. What really happened? Today, we're diving into 7 of the world's greatest real-life mysteries that continue to puzzle scientists and historians. These are not conspiracy theories, they are documented facts that challenge everything we thought we knew about our past. Our journey begins in 1912, when a rare book dealer named Wilfred Voynich found a very strange medieval manuscript in an Italian Jesuit college. Carbon dating confirmed it was made in the early 1400s, right in the middle of the European Renaissance. But here's the real mystery: its writing. The manuscript is filled with over 240 pages of text written in a language that has never been seen anywhere else on Earth. The best codebreakers from World War I, experts from the NSA, and top linguists have all tried to crack it, and every single one of them failed. The book also contains drawings of bizarre plants that don't exist, strange astronomical charts, and illustrations of women bathing in what look like interconnected tubes. Some researchers think it might be a lost medical textbook. Others believe it's an incredibly complex cipher. But to this day, no one has ever confirmed a single translation. It remains a complete, locked mystery from the medieval world. Next, let's travel to the Greek islands. In 1901, sponge divers exploring a Roman-era shipwreck near Antikythera made an incredible discovery. Among the statues and pottery was a corroded lump of metal that would rewrite history. We now call it the Antikythera mechanism. It's the world's oldest known analog computer, built somewhere around 150 BC using advanced X-ray imaging. Scientists were able to reconstruct its intricate system of gears. They discovered its purpose was astonishing. It could track the positions of planets, predict solar eclipses, and even calculate the dates of the Olympic Games with stunning accuracy. The mystery is, how did ancient engineers create something so mechanically advanced over 2,000 years ago? Nothing even close to this level of technology appears in the historical record for another 1,000 years. The Antikythera mechanism is a ghost from the past, a piece of technological genius that was centuries ahead of its time. Now, back to that explosion in Siberia. On the morning of June 30, 1908, near the Tunguska River, people saw a massive fireball streaking across the sky. Moments later, an explosion of unimaginable power rocked the entire region. The blast released energy equal to at least 10 megatons of TNT, flattening over 2,000 square kilometers of forest. But when Russian scientists finally reached the remote site in 1927, they were baffled. They found no impact crater. The most popular scientific theory today is that a meteor or comet exploded in the atmosphere before it hit the ground, an event called an airburst. But so many questions are still unanswered. What exactly was the object made of? Why did it disintegrate so completely? More than a century later, the Tunguska event is still the largest explosion in recorded history without a crater, a powerful and silent mystery etched into the Siberian wilderness. From Siberia, we head to the deserts of Peru. Between 200 BC and 600 CE, the ancient Nazca people carved enormous designs into the desert floor. These are the famous Nazca Lines. They stretch for hundreds of kilometers and depict giant animals, plants, and complex geometric patterns. The largest figures are over 300 meters long, so massive that they can only be fully seen from high up in the air. Yet, the Nazca people had no aircraft, no hot air balloons, and no mountains tall enough to give them a perfect view. Archaeologists believe the lines were created for ritual or astronomical purposes, possibly related to their desperate need for water in the arid desert. But the true meaning behind their incredible scale and precision is still debated. The Nazca Lines are a genuine archaeological enigma, a massive work of art created with a purpose we may never fully understand. Let's go back to the Mediterranean, to the island of Crete. In 1908, an Italian archaeologist named Luigi Pernier unearthed a small clay disc in the ancient Minoan palace of Phaistos. The disc, dated to around 1700 BC, is covered with 241 symbols arranged in a spiral. What's incredible is that these symbols were stamped onto the clay using movable type, making it one of the earliest examples of printing in human history. But here's the catch: the symbols don't match any known language. Scholars can identify pictures of people, plants, tools, and weapons, but no one has ever successfully translated the disc. Some suggest it's a prayer, others think it might be a game board. The Minoan civilization left behind very few written records, which makes the Phaistos disk one of the greatest unsolved linguistic puzzles of the Bronze Age. Now for a more modern mystery. In the small town of Taos, New Mexico, something strange started happening in the early 1990s. Residents began reporting a persistent, low-frequency humming sound. They described it as a distant engine, faint but steady, and impossible to locate. The phenomenon became so well known that in 1993, the U.S. Congress ordered a scientific investigation. Researchers from Los Alamos National Laboratory and other top institutions came to Taos. They measured everything: sound waves, electromagnetic fields, seismic activity. But they couldn't find a single, consistent source for the hum. Interestingly, only about 2% of the population could actually hear it, a condition scientists call selective sensitivity. Theories range from industrial noise to atmospheric pressure changes, or even a form of tinnitus, but no single explanation fits all the evidence. The Taos hum remains one of the most thoroughly documented and unexplained acoustic mysteries of our time. Finally, we arrive at one of the most famous and controversial artifacts in the world, the Shroud of Turin. Housed in a cathedral in Italy, this long linen cloth bears the faint, haunting image of a crucified man. For centuries, many have believed it to be the burial shroud of Jesus of Nazareth, but scientists rely on physical evidence. In 1988, radiocarbon dating performed by 3 separate labs in Oxford, Zurich, and Arizona placed the cloth's origin between 1260 and 1390 AD, firmly in the medieval period. But that's where one mystery ends and another begins. How was the image created? It's not a painting. It's not a scorch mark. No known medieval technique can replicate its unique, three-dimensional properties. Some scientists propose it was formed by natural chemical reactions over time, while others speculate about unknown medieval methods. Even the Catholic Church doesn't officially claim it's an authentic relic, referring to it only as a powerful object of faith. The true origin of the image on the shroud remains a profound enigma, a fascinating intersection of science, faith, and history. Across the world, these mysteries persist. Not because we aren't smart enough to solve them, but because history is far deeper, older, and more complex than we can ever fully grasp. From ancient computers and coded manuscripts to unexplained explosions and desert art visible only from the sky, each one of these puzzles reminds us of a simple but powerful truth. The more we discover, the more we realize just how much is still unknown. And perhaps, that is what makes our world so truly extraordinary. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more explorations into the world's greatest mysteries. See you next time.